interview with Payal Reina. Payal wears many hats these days. She is the global head of marketing for Torstone Technology, a provider of cloud-based post-trade offerings. She is also the founder of the Fintech B2B marketing community, which got its start last year. In fact, FTF News has singled out Payal for an Editor's Choice Award because of her efforts in launching this new group in 2020. And we're going to talk about that group today. But first, Payal, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then could you just talk a little bit about how the FinTech B2B marketing group got started?
Sure. No, thanks, Eugene. Great to be live today with FTF. So it's fantastic to be here. So I have been in FinTech marketing for nearly 2 decades now. And as you kind of described in the beginning, I do wear 2 hats. So I'm heading marketing for Torstone Technology, which is a leading global post-trade technology company, and of course I'm founder for FinTech B2B marketing community. I started my career back in Canada, in Toronto, working for Microsoft. So that's how I kind of started my marketing career number of years ago, and from there on worked for a number of other global brands like General Electric Capital Solution, Barclays Bank, and I was also heading marketing for a payment tech company, and then in my recent role I'm heading marketing for a fintech company. So I had a chance to work in Canada, then moved to UK, London. Also in that journey had an opportunity to actually deliver marketing courses at London business schools, being out there writing articles, taught leadership piece. So had some really exciting fun stuff throughout my career, but predominantly working within financial services and technology, which is now kind of fintech, as we all know.
Mm-hmm. And why is this group so important to you?
Yeah, so FinTech B2B marketing community is one of my personal passion projects. And the core about this community is that it's a specialist B2B marketing community bringing financial services and technology provider marketers together. So Eugene, back in the time in March last year, if you remember, all of us were being put in the lockdown and were forced to look at the industry through the Zoom lenses. So that was one of the key reason why this community was formed last year, because of the unprecedented uncertainty driven by COVID, and that was a unique opportunity because as marketers, as you know, we are the face of the organization. We are the brand advocates, customer advocates, and we were put under immense pressure to be agile, responsive, to deal with this whole pandemic situation, respond to the client, being out there in front of prospects and customers. However, no one provided us a playbook or a guide map, and that was one of the key reasons, why the community was formed. Secondly, I noticed that financial services and fintechs, we were kind of operating in silos. And since I've worked on both sides of the landscape, I recognize the challenges. And it's so important that as we are seeing the shift in the trend from moving as, from being a competitor to being collaborators, there was a huger demand from the marketing standpoint to be kind of, brought together on a common platform. And hence the birth of this FinTech B2B online platform, which is a unique platform, bringing marketers in helps of driving and sharing best practices, looking at opportunity to network, looking at way to enhance career opportunities. So this is kind of very, very important. And as I said, it's a personal passion project for me, because at a personal level, it very much serves to my overall purpose of being, existing on this planet, because it helps me and gives me immense pleasure and satisfaction to share some of the knowledge, the tools and insights which I have learned, and at the same time, learn from the other community members.
Mhm. So who helped you start it? Who was there at the ground floor?
So when I kicked off this, it kind of, I was the one who kind of started off in the beginning, but in terms of supporting it and putting this whole thing together, I knew I couldn't achieve this whole community by myself. So I then started identifying key people in my network who are forward thinkers, like-minded, passionate marketers and individuals who kind of face the similar challenges and have a kind of similar beliefs in terms of, breaking through those silos and kind of bringing a peer-to-peer network together. So I then collaborated with my peers at Deutsche Bank, BNY Mellon, Societe Generale Bank, Finastra, Tata Communication, April Rudin, one of my good friends from WealthTech. So basically bringing key senior influencers and voices, both from WealthTech, RegTech, insurance tech, pay tech, and financial services. So it was kind of, bringing them all together. And given the challenges, as I just described, were similar to my experiences, it didn't take us long to kind of build a strong advisory board group together.
Then when did you officially launch?
So officially we launched in October last year. So yeah.
Okay. And then about how many people were a part of that launch?
So at the part of that launch, I would say it was 6-7 of us. So the advisory board members and myself. Yeah.
Okay. And then who can join the group? I assume that you're still open to new members.
Yeah. So look, as I said, we are very much a peer-to-peer global community, and we have grown strength to strength. So since we launched the group last year in October 2021, since then, from 7 people, now we are over 1,500 subscribers and members globally, worldwide. So we have got, folks from Europe and UK, over more than 25% of our group demographics from North America, US being quite strong, prominent presence. APAC, we have got over 15% of our demographics from APAC, South America, Africa, so Middle East, so it's across the globe. And anyone who's passionate about fintech, anyone who's passionate about marketing, and from salespeople to marketers to customer experience people to agencies to vendors, fintech startup founders, because the community welcomes everyone. Because if I'm a fintech startup, I might be really strong in my technology and on my product side, but I still need to know what's the best way to market those products and solutions out there. We also work very, very closely with research companies, Insights, because Insights is a very critical part of our community, and that's reflected in our advisory board members as well. Finally, we work very closely with academic institutions, universities, college students, who are just kind of coming out from their uni and colleges, and they're looking into, diving into the knowledge of the practitioners. So that's another group we absolutely welcome, and they are very much a part of our community. And of course, media, research, fintech agencies and vendors, we are absolutely core part of a community, because as part of the ecosystem, we very much want to say, what are the latest and greatest technologies and solutions out there, which is going to help our community members for A, being operationally efficient, B, helping them to reduce their costs, C, helping them to meet their day-to-day marketing challenges. So we all can go back and help grow our businesses and help achieve that bottom line.
And when you say fintech, does it include retail as well as institutional, or is there a mix of everything? How does that work out?
Yeah, good question. So yeah, it's a mix of institution and retail, but we are predominantly focusing on business to business marketers rather than B2C. So yeah.
All right. And what are your plans for 2021? You have all these people who have amassed a lot of people. So what are some of the things that you want to get done?
Sure, like 2020 and 2021 so far has been a stellar year for us so far, as we saw some exceptional growth in terms of folks joining the community. We launched our premium membership for individuals. We launched our business membership. We launched our student membership. We delivered more than 25 events and 60 plus content and tons of partnership in terms of awards. So it's been a stellar year. The plan is to kind of, the H2 is to continue to build upon the success of what we have had so far. Of course, it's still early days because we are still young community and a young group. And the focus is to spread the voice out there. Eugene, one thing I would mention is that usually when I talk to people about this community, the first thing, and I've heard so many people echoing that, is like, thank God we have found a home. Because usually fintech marketers working in financial services and technology space get bucketed as under traditional B2B marketing. So it's kind of, making that home much more a cozier place. And what we are doing is in October, we are actually launching our very first inaugural global demo day, technology demo day conference, which is going to be our flagship conference for our community, something which we are very excited. And the objective of this demo day is to showcase the best of the technologies which marketers can actually use to be successful in their jobs, whether it's cloud-based technology using AI, machine learning, looking at some of the blockchain, crypto. So it's an absolutely fantastic opportunity for all the cutting edge technologies to come in and showcase what they have got. So that's the focus. And of course, we're going to.
So what is different about fintech B2B marketing though, and why is it important for people to have their own home?
That's a very, very great question. So what makes us unique is, first and foremost, we are very much a peer-to-peer network. And we are the first global peer-to-peer network. And what do I mean by that is that we are not backed up by any vendors, any agencies, or any particular media. So, as a founder, I'm kind of solely driving it in support with our advisory board members. So that kind of keeps us away from a commercial element, because we are very much a non-profit organization and trying to make sure we run the community to keep the running cost up. So that's the first thing. And why that's important for our members is because that means they can be free to express their thoughts, their insight. They can talk about their challenges globally. So that kind of makes us unique, because with the COVID now, we all are living in a virtual less, where the boundaries don't exist anymore. So that's the first thing which makes us unique. Second thing which makes us unique is that there are other communities out there. So like there are tons of fintechs and banking and financial communities out there, but we are the first community bringing financial services and tech together. And that's so critical, Eugene, in today's environment, given banks wants to be seen as agile disruptors like fintechs. But of course, there's a lot of baggage it comes with banks have legacy platforms, legacy solutions and stuff. So this kind of community brings, we are not operating in silos, but we are breaking those silos. And thirdly, it's about, as I mentioned before, is our community. We are not bucketing B2B marketers under a traditional generic bucket, because we understand that financial services is a very highly regulated industry. Fintech, probably more or less regulated, but we operate in a different market landscape where we need to be more agile, we need to be more volatile, and hence it puts us in a very unique position.
And in generally speaking, services, financial services, and the technology to support all of them, generally that's ahead of every other group. When I started covering this, all of this in 1997, the sell side firms, the big banks and others, their technology was pretty much decades ahead of other within financial services, just way ahead of commercial banking, way ahead of consumer banking. and so forth. Is that still pretty much the case? Because some consumer technology is jumping way ahead, and it seems like sometimes the institutional technology for financial services is kind of catching up to the consumer. Is that, or is that just my misinterpretation?
Yeah, look, you raised a good point there. However, I can kind of comment from a marketing standpoint. When we look at the technology, the MarTech, which the marketers are using, and of course it kind of then embeds back to the overall business technologies and the platforms and infrastructure that businesses have got in order to enable them to perform. So you're quite right. There is that kind of distinction, and there is kind of a gap in terms of what type of technology platform they're using. And again, a great example is, if you're a smaller size organization, much more nimble and agile, perhaps I can take an example of Torstone here. It's, we kind of consider ourselves as much more like a speedboat, where you can maneuver things really quickly, you can get things done for clients really quickly, and technology plays a greater role compared to a larger bank or larger organization. They might have some sophisticated technology, but then it's an infrastructure and other operational support that needs to deliver and execute things that can make a difference. And that kind of comes down to marketing as well, because it's about your go-to-market plan. How are you going to how can you quickly get your products out in the market? How quickly can you market them? Your products and solutions depends on the infrastructure and technology you have got underneath. So we do find that difference, and that's why it makes this group really unique, because the folks working in institutional retail, our community members, they actually want to learn from their peers to say, what are you doing differently? That's making you much more agile in turning things around, because it's taking us a long time, even though we do see that banks are investing in accelerators, incubator projects, and having their own in-house fintech startups, but there's still a lot of gap there. And I would say that's kind of one of the top learnings I've seen, since launching of the group, is that disconnect between tech firms and financial services. And of course.
Okay, we're going to just kind of wrap up here, but how do people join your group? Do they go to the LinkedIn page, or is there?
Yeah. So great question. So, if anybody wants to join our community, they can log on to fintechb2bmarketing.com. They can log on there, and they can subscribe as a virtual member, or they can subscribe as a premium member, and they can get access to our events and mentoring program, career guidance, training, coaching, premium content insights. So there's a wealth of knowledge and insights available for the folks in the community.
Okay. And then this is a hard question, but what was the biggest lesson that you learned from launching this group?
The biggest lesson I learned from watching this group was that, marketers are involved in each and every aspect in the business. Of course, I've kind of seen that from my experience as well, but that kind of echoed through all the members I have been talking to. So kind of ignoring the marketing from the fintech's puzzle piece is one of the greater risks businesses cannot afford if they do want to be successful in this digital transformation age. So that was one of the biggest lessons I learned, listening to my colleagues and peers across the industry, and something which is really important, because that lesson, it further encourages and motivates me to take that learning back to our community and further reinforce that when we are talking out to our community members. Also, second thing I would say is that the marketing education, the need for the marketing education is so high, Eugene. Marketers across the globe, they have been crying for mentorship. So many people came to me and they're like, Payal, it's great you have got a mentorship program. We do want mentors. So they're crying for that resources. They're crying for the career guidance, the help, the support they need, which was phenomenal. I did recognize when I launched the group last year that there was a need for it. But in fact, it kind of got echoed. That was the second thing I would say. And finally, I would say was the disconnect which we saw between the tech and the financial is a bigger problem than I thought it was, because of course, having this community and talking to the peers validated and proved that how well we are connected with our members. So there's a huge gap in between than before I anticipated.
Great, thank you, Payal. I think that's everything. So thank you very much. Congratulations on your organization. And again, thank you for talking with us today. Great.
No, it's great to have you. Great to have me here on the forum. Sorry.
Okay. No, that's fine.
No, great. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. You too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.